Denver 7 Now is sponsored by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
I'm Shannon Ogden with the latest from Denver 7. You know, nothing says welcome back to school like hours of this sweltering heat. Thousands of DPS students endured Monday's record-breaking temperatures in classrooms without air conditioning. But is this really something the state's largest school district should be dealing with in 2019? Denver 7's Megan Lopez put that question to DPS.
It's so good to see the familiar faces.
It's the start of school at Stedman Elementary.
How's everything going this morning?
Along with the first day jitters,
Do you want to share what else he told you?
of getting used to a new classroom and teacher,
I haven't been in school for a while.
students here are also dealing with the heat.
Are we staying cool? It's a little warm.
Stedman is one of 60 schools around DPS that doesn't have air conditioning.
Atkins to Brandon, can you bring your thermometer gun? What you got there?
For students like Maggie,
I wore shorts and short sleeves.
all this heat has them wishing for just one more day of summer.
I want to go swimming.
Sitting in 90-degree classrooms can be difficult for little ones.
It is distracting. It's loud.
So teacher Deborah Farard
We've got a little science experiment going on.
is using this as one of her first lessons.
So we're talking about climate change. How do we keep the room cool?
An opportunity to problem solve,
They have all kinds of ideas.
while the district does some problem solving of its own.
We are just starting the conversation of, do we want to go back to the voters in 2020 to ask for additional funds?
Without the adequate resources, you're not going to be able to alleviate the heat.
This heat won't last for long. A bond would.
If we were to look at doing that, it's about $200 million.
But for the district, the bottom line is,
How do we ensure that kids are in cool environments as they're learning?
at Stedman Elementary,
All right, fourth grade, well, you all have a great day.
Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Sometimes you never know where a story will take you. Like Monday, when we tried to find out who's responsible for fixing an intersection that has seen 2 deadly crashes in 2 months. Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski saw for herself just how dangerous this area is.
Such an open wound right now for me.
Married for 40 years,
40 years, and all of a sudden you're just gone.
Linda Lane is still trying to figure out how to move forward.
You have no idea.
Another driver killed her husband Bob at this intersection 2 months ago.
And broadsided him at approximately 80 miles an hour.
It happened at the corner of County Line and Powhatan Road, not far from Blackstone Country Club in Aurora.
Every time I pass here, I start to cry because I can't help it.
Linda doesn't want to be here. She's back because it happened again.
It's very dangerous.
The second fatal crash in 2 months. This time, deputies say a motorcyclist was killed early Monday morning.
It's not going to be the last one.
And turns out Linda was right. A few minutes after our interview, we witnessed another crash at the same intersection.
Do you have a phone?
I
Someone
do.
Call
No, it's
911. Patton and County Line.
This is unbelievable.
This time, both drivers walked away with only minor injuries.
And they collided nose to nose. It was pretty violent watching.
But neighbors say it's time for a light at this high-flying crossing.
It's a horrible intersection. It's a intersection that needs a light.
Or at the very least, a four-way stop.
Before more people are killed in this intersection, they need to do something to stop it.
To cut down on the confusion over who has the right-of-way, as well as the speeds. Like this guy we caught flying by right in front of the accident.
A stop sign over there on that side would have saved my husband's life.
Linda just doesn't want anyone else to have to go through her pain.
It's sad that someone else had to die before someone may take action.
And Aurora says they planned on studying this intersection starting next month to see if it does meet requirements to install a traffic light there. RTD claims the long-awaited, near mythical end line is nearing the home stretch. And unfortunately, that means life is about to get louder in the North Metro. Horns have already started sounding along certain routes. More to come over the next few weeks. And once hopefully finished next year, the line will connect Commerce City, Thornton, North Glen, and Adams County to Union Station. Now, speaking of long talked about projects, the recent discovery in Rocky Flats is giving fresh ammo to a group opposed to the Jefferson Parkway project. That 10-mile toll road would connect Highway 93 to Highway 128 from Golden to Broomfield, and that runs right along the edge of Rocky Flats, where Friday we learned a soil sample turned up elevated levels of plutonium. And that has a group now calling for immediate access to all of the samples collected. The people behind the study say there's still more work to be done and are urging against jumping to any conclusions here. Well, if crews have made any progress cleaning up this mess in Cherry Creek, you can't tell it from Air Tracker 7. The boom lift fell through the parking garage Saturday, rupturing a sprinkler system that flooded the grounds. Well, 2 workers were on it at the time, but thankfully not seriously hurt. We've reached out for an update on how repairs are coming along and if people were allowed back to get their cars, but we have not yet heard back. Stapleton has overwhelmingly chosen to stick with its name. 2,200 people voted to keep the neighborhood the same. 1,200 voted to change it. Only property owners were given a say in the decision. Now, Stapleton is named for Benjamin Stapleton, a former Denver mayor, but also who had ties to the KKK. From your First Alert Weather Center, a quick look at your forecast. It's going to be hot. And there's not a lot more than that. A few afternoon showers, but really the headline is here. It is August heat. So stay cool, everybody. This has been your Denver 7 on-demand update. Thanks for joining us. Chat back later. We'll have another one for you. And download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. I'm Shannon Ogden.